Welcome back. Going over The Jealous Son, new on Tubi. Now, with this one, it's one of those movies where it's predictable. And I always say that if you have a predictable plot, you really need to make up for it in other ways, like some really great cinematography, Oscar winning acting. They may be asking a lot, but because the whole, son, he goes over to his dad's house. His girl meets his dad's girlfriend who's his age. It says in the thing that they're gonna fall for each other and all that. So they're gonna fall for each other. It's called The Jealous Son, so he's gonna be crazy. He's gonna have some bodies on him, which we find that out. And then, when it comes to those type of movies, it's gonna end one or two ways. Either the person who's the psycho crazy killer is gonna get killed themselves, or they're going to somehow stay alive. We're going to think they died, but they stay alive. And then at the end, we see that they're going to pretty much do what they've done in this movie again. And the latter is the one that won this one. We see at the end that there's going to be another young lady that's going to be a victim of his craziness. One of the things I do like about the movie is I do like the music. A lot of times with like independent films, I think they're trying to promote like maybe a lot of local artists. So you hear a lot of local music, and I personally, this is my opinion, I'm not really into the rap of nowadays and the R&B of nowadays, because I feel like I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, so I'm used to Jodeci type singing, Drew Hill type singing, Mary J type singing, not the stuff they have now. So that's something I don't really like in a lot of these independent films, but they did have some nice music playing in this one. The guy that played the jealous son, I feel like he's a good actor. He played his role well. It didn't sound like he was just rehearsing lines or anything. But like I said, the plot itself was just predictable. So I was pretty much just watching it to see. I was pretty much just watching it. I kept losing interest, and I think that's why I had to restart this about 3 times, 2 to 3 times. When I'm watching a movie, I put the phone up. I like to give the movie my undivided attention, like we used to do back in the day. Nothing else going on, you're just watching a movie. And I still found myself like getting up, dusting. Not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying you know what's gonna happen. So there's no like ride. But like I said before, you can get away with a predictable plot if you have some really good, I don't know, ad libs going on. Like I said, some really good acting, cinematography, something to make up for the lack of surprises in the movie. So, one thing I do want to say, and I'm just like, dude, the lady that played his mom looked like she was maybe 10 years older than him at the most. His dad didn't look that much older than him, so I'm like, did they have him really young? I'm used to, like, when you're casting, when you have a character that's in their early 20s, I'm just used to seeing people who look like they're about at least early 40s, 20-year age gap, because his mom looks super young. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to see if this movie was made in Houston, because if I'm not mistaken, that's the lady who played his mom. I've seen her in some skits from his name is called Call Me Tio Choco. He's the black dude. He does the skits. He's Afro Latino, and he does the skits like with the cowboy hat. He played in on Tubi Red Flags and Red Flags 2. That dude, he's in her skits, or she's in his skits a lot. And she can't be no more than about 30. That's why I'm like, y'all cast some older people to play these people's parents if you wanted to be believable. Like I said, the dad, he had gray hair, but he didn't look that much older than him. I got gray hair too. You can't see it because it's like in the middle of my head, but if I were to part my hair and bend down, you'd be able to see it, right? Crystal gray, okay? So that doesn't necessarily mean you're old enough to be somebody who's early 20s mom, but they picked who they felt was good for the job. Now, the one scene that had me just like, girl, you are doing too much was when the son came to his mom's and she opens the door crying, oh God, oh, and I'm like, did somebody die? That's what I'm thinking, somebody died. She crying because her and her husband are getting a divorce. Look, I'm not trying to downplay divorce. I'm just saying the way that scene looked, it looked like somebody died. Like a horrible death. I was just like, Miss Ma'am. So the girlfriend that's 23, same age as the son, she's with the dad. Uh, I want to say this in a way that doesn't sound judgmental, but they were about to have dinner and she had on this dress that looked like who wears that dress around the house? It looked like something you go to the club in, girl. And I understand like she's an influencer, that's her job, but to just be walking around the house with a bodycon dress on, I'm sorry, I'm thinking most people walk around, no matter how good they look, no matter how bomb the body is, I'm thinking they're walking around with sweatpants on, maybe some sweat shorts, tank top. It just seems real uncomfortable to wear a short bodycon dress that you have to constantly be pulling down because you're in front of your boyfriend's son. Like girl. So when they started their little affair, and I don't think she quit sleeping with the father too, her boyfriend. So I think she was basically sleeping with them both, and it's like ill. The whole we can't what we did before, we can't do this, and I've said this before so many times on movies where you have these forbidden love affairs. Two people that are attracted to each other cannot be around each other, definitely not alone. And I feel like as the son, even though he was crazy, so I guess maybe for her sake I should say maybe she should have stayed away or told her boyfriend that he need to go stay at an Airbnb or something. I don't know. But yeah, you mess with your boyfriend's son, you find out the son's crazy, he killed somebody in high school, killed somebody in college. The movie comes on with a woman being strangled. And so, you don't know the rest of the movie yet, so you're like, okay, that's either going to be the son or the dad. And so we find out it's the son. It was basically like a murder-suicide, but he made it look that way. I think he killed both of the people, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a hard lesson to learn. I don't care how strong your willpower is, what you think it is. If you are attracted to someone and they're attracted to you, whether y'all are both in relationships or both married or one of you is in a relationship or married, you have got to stay away from each other because those natural animalistic instincts to procreate will kick over, will not kick over, damn, take over. All right, it happens to the best of us. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. The Jealous Son on Tubi just dropped. Shout out to my 115 subscribers. Shout out to the rest of you as well who are not subscribed, but you can by hitting that button for me, all right? Peace and blessings to you all. Until next time.